This is Ezil, Lancer from Serpent's Isle, with my friend here, Meloff the Warrior. We're taking on a Radat named Kumos. Just want to kind of go through and talk about some of the things that Kumoses and Radat do from a band perspective, and go over some of the things of how to handle him and maybe some of the Lancer moves. Well, one of the things that really kind of strikes me is that the Kumos and named Radat, what they do is at the beginning, basically you'll get about a good 3 to 5% of their health, maybe a little bit more, where it looks like they're kind of snoozing, and all of a sudden they just kind of wake up and snap into, oh crap, somebody's attacking me. So it's kind of weird. You get kind of some free strikes there, and you can basically stand in front of a Kumos or stand in front of Radat, and they don't really aggress towards you or anything. So they're a passive bam. Now, some of the moves they likes to do here, he does a little red dot jump at me. He does an area effect slam down on you, squashes you. Um, he does some basic little moves here. He's got 3 different types of hits. Here comes the 1-2 slam right there on top of me. That's probably the one you'll see the most, is that move in particular. But his moves are so slow. You should be able to catch all of those to be able to get your block up. One thing to keep in mind here is that you're going to see that his armbands are actually kind of glowing like they're on fire, or lightning is going through them. So I don't know if you just heard, my friend here, Meloff, was actually telling me that I need to bring him back into towards the larger stone. Kind of talks more about, you've got to be more aware of what you're doing with, especially with Radat, because he spawns near that big stone in the center, and we've got a bunch of medium-sized stones on the outside. Well, everything on the inside there is pretty much cleared off, or kind of contained inside of itself. So if you keep him in there, what it does for you and your team is ensures that you don't accidentally pull up any ads, you don't get too far out where you're basically he resets and goes back to 100% health immediately. So you want to try to keep him inside there. And one thing I like a lot is for anybody that I'm playing with that's a damage dealer or range character, is for them to be on the other side, that back side of the Kumos or the named Radat. Basically, that does 2 things for them. Keeps them kind of out of harm's way. Additionally, it kind of gives me that extra set of eyes on the back side of me, because a lot of times I don't really look behind me. I kind of keep my peripheral in that little cone shape toward the front. And you'll probably notice here I'm going to turn him around again when I realize I see that stone there. So switching back around, and I think he does right here. He's going to do a little bit of a fireball here shortly on me. Here goes the first one, and then the second one he actually does get me with. It does about 480 or 90 damage, and then multiply that by 2. And there goes a little jump back and does a little red dot, and the breath. There's the breath. Now the one thing with the breath, make sure that you do not get knocked down with that first breath. If you get knocked down with that first breath, you're guaranteed almost to pretty much get hit with the second one, and more than likely the third, and potentially a fourth. So you don't have much time to get back up, retaliate, get your guard back on, and try to shield block there. Now, when you see kind of those electric electric armbands going, you want to make sure you keep him stunned as much as possible as a Lancer. And then, of course, if you got a warrior with you or somebody else can do some stuns too, because what that'll do is it kind of keeps him contained a little bit better. He does the additional moves. You kind of see him walking through me there. The walkthroughs, if you don't get that shield up in time, he's going to walk through 150 damage. Doesn't sound like a lot, but when you multiply that by 8, that's a good chunk of your health, especially when you only got about 7 or 8,000 at level 23, as I do. Now, there he goes with his breath against me again. So what you'll want to do is as soon as you kind of see him doing his moves there, turning around as a Lancer, get back with that shout. Make sure you stay on top of him. Make sure he's not going to face your party, because of the simple fact that they don't really have any abilities to really safeguard. Because the Kumos, or the named Bam Rata here, is really kind of one of those. He's one of my favorites, because what it allows me to do is he doesn't jump around like a Basilisk, or like the Naga Juggernauts, or the Naga Mercenaries, or that Warlord over there that do crazy amounts of jumps, and so it's really easy for me to tank him quite easily. I've actually had the pleasure of actually tanking 2 of these guys, and all it really is a matter of pitting them against each other, or lining them up to where you kind of see their moves coming back and forth. Now, one thing, if you don't have a healer inside your party, you're going to want to keep an eye on your second wind. Second wind is one of those abilities that, if you've got a healer, you're probably not going to use it a whole lot, but when you're soloing or you're playing with just all DPS, you're going to want to keep that up and going continuously. It's really hard to find the good moments, because you only have a second, 2 seconds to get it off, and if you don't get it off right, then you're going to be hurting yourself more than if you did actually just not even use it. So, but it looks like we're toward the end here. things. Looks like Meloff has actually gotten some of the aggro. I kind of pulled that back off of him. Played a little conservative toward the end because of getting my butt handed to me. But overall, it was a pretty easy fight, very quick and easy for two players. And if you got any questions, let me know. Any critiques or anything, comment here on the YouTube channel or on the Tera forums at the Lancer Guide. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and talk to you next time.